Welcome back in, everybody, to what will be the grand finals of the second week of the CMG Roco Showdown qualifiers. We've been through quite a bit to get here, Fawn. There have been some amazing teams playing today that went out earlier than we thought. There's been upsets across the board, but we're down to currently 3 teams. Second match still happening, but we know for a fact that Hefty Cormorant are going to be there after a fantastic performance throughout the bracket. We watched them through quite a bit of the day, and they're going to be playing against a juggernaut regardless, either Cute Hamster or Right Turtle on the other side. Fun. I cannot wait for this match to get started.
Neither can I. I'm overall so excited to see how this grand finals is going to go because, like I said before, in the very beginning of the tournament, we were talking about, hey, Cute Hamsters is this team it is that you have to be on the lookout for. But seeing Hefty Cormorant here, I mean, seeing them up in the grand finals, they've really proven themselves as time has went on throughout this tournament bracket, throughout these placement matches, to show that they can hang with some of the best of them. So I'm excited to see how they sort of keep their feet planted against some of these powerhouses, like you were mentioning before, like Right Turtle, like Cute Hamster, depending on who is going to be the one that comes out on top of that match. It's going to be an absolutely amazing time to see.
Yeah, regardless of who makes it, I'm sure if it's Cute Hamsters, I'm sure Hefty Cormorant want revenge, because
yeah,
I have the list of right here of how things went last week. Yes, last week was Strikeout instead, but it is still different. 8-2 on the demo against them, 3-1 on the Strikeout against them. So a fairly one-sided affair. I'm sure they have looked at the tape from that, figured out maybe what they want to do. But of course, all that Strikeout tape, not going to matter until week number 4, the main event itself, when they get to go back to that game mode. But I hope you guys are all having fun here. You guys are all enjoying all the games that we've had to see today. If you guys have any feedback from any of that, of course, anything you want to say to us about anything, make sure you hit us up on our socials at CMG Rogue, at Rogue Company. Let us know about that. You can use hashtag CMG 10k, or I've seen CMG RC on the graphics a little bit earlier. So hit it, either one. I think we will be able to look at and dissect. And of course, you can check out checkmategaming.com if you want to sign up for the tournaments, find out the rules and all those extra little details about what goes on in the tournament, how you can sign up and play if you think you're better than any of the players we've seen. I will say, chat, a little bit better than that. Sometimes we'll always see people. There's always one guy who comes in and is like, these players are so bad. Yeah. You can find out yourself if you sign up and actually try to play against them. But to do that, you're going to have to be on the up and up about what's happening in game. You're going to have to pretty much know all the updates. You're going to have to know everything going on with the Rogues. And there is a place to do that for the Hot Rogue Summer. RogueCompany.com. That's where all our patches are. That's where everything is. All our news, anything you could want to know about Rogue Company for updates and anything coming out that way, definitely check it out. It is Hot Rogue Summer, and I am so thankful that it's getting later because it was a lot hotter earlier. I was having my own Hot Rogue Summer here in my office, but luckily that has passed. But it's still hot in back there in game. They'll definitely continue with that one for a bit. Patch will be going on. Cute Hamster versus Right Turtle. Hey, that is a really nice graphic. They are currently in game 3. I can give a score update for you, actually. 5-2 in favor of Cute Hamster currently on map number 3, which is Hollow's Demolition. Just popped my head into the stream to see that one. And they are playing their hearts out, and they're doing it for not just points. They're doing it for some money as well. There is cash on the line here in all of the qualifiers. Recent changes means it goes a little bit further down the line too for them. So from first place to 8th place, there is cash for anyone that manages to make it that far. So all the teams we've been watching that made it to the quarterfinals, all of them will at least walk away with, I want to say, 50 in the pocket, if I remember that right, Spawn. So, I mean, for the qualifiers to have that money, even if you've already made it, it makes you want to keep showing up, right? You can get some extra cash for that, gets you some incentive to really be out here on the grind.
Yeah, definitely got to make sure that you give them some time to be able to grind things out. Like Cute Hamster, Right Turtle, these two have been like consistently grinding time and time again, and they've been proving it by their standings. Cute Hamster has been proving it. Right Turtle has been proving it. And that only comes with experience, with time. You can only really have effective matches like that the more you play, the more you fight, the more you try and learn as time goes on. You have to be able to do that at the end of the day. And these teams are the ones that you see in these grand finals, the one even that you see in semifinals. Those are the teams that you'll end up seeing that are the ones that are constantly grinding it out. They're the ones that are trying to make sure that they can take home this money, that they can do well in the placements and be ready for next week.
Yeah, and there's more tournaments to sign up for too. It's not just the 10Ks that you can play. And if you want to be on that grind and getting better and working with your team, if you find a good group of people, there's other tournaments too, but we always mention it. Prize pool there. The schedule here for all the qualifiers, if you do want to sign up for it, you can see number 1 already finished. Number 2, hey, that's where we are today, June 13th, qualifier number 2. 6 days from now, will not be on a Sunday next week. It will be Saturday of this coming week, June 19th. That is going to be the 3rd qualifier. Your last chance, if you have not gotten enough points from weeks 1 and 2 to make it into the 10K main event. You can see there in the end, signified by Scorch, who I hope will be playable for it. Wouldn't be a hot road summer without Scorch, I think, available around. Hotfix coming tomorrow, I believe. So hopefully that will get her back in the swing of things. But definitely would be happy to see her there for that 10K main event. A lot of money up for grabs in that one for the teams that do make it. The top 16, of course, from all the previous weeks, including this one and next one. All of those will get them there. But King of the Hill, man, the first change, speaking of last week to this one, that's a change. That's the King of the Hill over Strikeout. And we were just talking about it during the break when I freed myself from my green screen tomb for one moment. Watching King of the Hill over Strikeout, I think I've been enjoying it a lot. I do still like Strikeout, the strategy in it, but it is a bit of a breath of fresh air to see a mode where you really don't have to care about your respawns. You have more in Strikeout, but it is not a real resource that you're burning in King of the Hill.
Yeah, that's what I've been. I mean, that's what we were talking a little bit about before, we came back on, right? Was the fact about how much we actually enjoyed watching King of the Hill. It's the fact of seeing this map control, seeing these teams move from one spot to the next, either preemptively or as the fight's going on. And it really makes you look at the maps differently, as opposed to Demolition, as opposed to Strikeout. With Strikeout, you typically have one single point the entire round, and then that point changes on a round-to-round basis. With King of the Hill, it's changing constantly, consistently throughout the match. And as it's evolving, you see these teams try and manipulate these different different strategies. You see these teams try and try out these different compositions, things that might work on this map because of how commonly they're skirmishing. And I honestly think it's great. I genuinely enjoy watching the King of the Hill matches. I genuinely think it's a great time, no matter whether you're playing it, whether you're watching it. I think it is a great addition to the competitive scene.
It's the most dynamic mode we've seen. I think that's what it is. It's dynamic, and that's what makes a big difference. And I hope you guys feel the same, and you can let us know. We mentioned the socials earlier, but they're still right below us. Let's know how you feel about Koth. I love it. Again, seeing these players have to adapt from 2 static modes into a mode where they have to really know the map, really know every route between every area, and how to hold some off-kilter places. I remember when I was talking to Blue right after finals, week 4, he was like, dude, I can't wait to watch Glacier King of the Hill, because it is going to be an absolute mayhem in the basement on Glacier on that site. So just seeing that be proven exactly right, and seeing these teams have to play the maps in such different ways, I've been loving it. But let us know if you feel the same, and I hope you do, because I think it's been awesome to cast, and I think it's been awesome to watch for that. But Koth aside, it's a game mode that these teams are going to have to learn as going forward, whether it be in this week, whether it be in the main event. Best of 5s, I believe, are 2. I'm going to double check the rules as I say this just to be sure, but I believe it's 2 Koths on top of that. So you really have to, demo, Koth, Strikeout, Koth, demo. So winning every demo doesn't even win you a set anymore. You got to have at least 1 respawn in the back pocket.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of those times where making sure that you have those respawns available to you. I mean, if you're talking about Strikeout, that was a part of the strategy, was that you had a limited amount of lives, and what you were trying to do, other than just take the objective, was whittle down the amount of lives that the enemy team had. The objective would also make sure that it ticked down or took away 1 life per full sweep or full circle of you being on that objective. So with that being the case, King of the Hill isn't as much like that. It's just full respawn. So that's why we see fighting so consistently. That's why we saw it on the last map as well, the very, very last set. It was something that was consistently happening time and time and time again. And so you're going to need a little bit more of those skirmishing characters. You're going to need a little bit more of those opportunities for you to be able to try and work with. And I overall think that it's a great time to be able to watch that. And I'm so glad that you mentioned Glacier
Yep.
as well, is because Glacier was one of those maps where we genuinely enjoy watching it, because it was so constant, it was so back and forth, it was so hard to be able to fight, and that's
Mhm.
something that I think we'll be able to see for weeks to come, with this game mode being in.
Yeah, as the teams adapt to it, I think we'll see the meta change as well. Want to see that happen.
Mhm.
And all the teams at the top that'll be doing it, I think, will be the Pioneers. But I have to let you know that there is one team that stands on the top of the... okay, the graphic beat me to it. You guys are too
Yeah.
fast. I wanted to be the one to
Hefty
do it, but it
Cormorant.
pops up right in the bottom. They beat me to it. Cute Hamsters
Okay.
were able to take down Right Turtle 8-2. And his stream is already offline. That can't be a good sign for them. Hopefully they'll be recovering for next week when they come back in qualifier number 3 to try to get a few more points. Because again, they did miss week number 1, but good performance by Right Turtle. I think they really put Cute Hamsters on the edge. They got them to a spot that they could have not made it to finals, but I think it is an inevitability that they are here against Hefty Cormorant one more time. And that kind of shows Hefty Cormorant really establishing themselves as a force also to, be opposite Cute Hamster.
Yeah, it's I think that this is an interesting fight to be able to see, because typically we would see Right Turtle and Cute Hamster fight back and forth typically for this grand final spot. Not even necessarily in semis. We see them in grands quite a few times. Seeing Hefty Cormorant here is not only a testament to how well they've been playing, but this is the big question. This is the big what if. We mentioned it all the way in the beginning. Cute Hamster has to be taken down. How do they do this? This has to be a way in order that they actually do this. This has to be a way where they really try and fight back overall against what we've been seeing throughout this entire tournament. And I am so excited to see Hefty Cormorant really try and take this from a Cute Hamster for once.
And we'll see if King of the Hill makes any difference for them. We can look at the maps and see exactly where they'll be playing for that here in the series layout of the games between these two teams. We're going to Favelas first. We'll be playing demo on that. And then our first look at Breach. New Hot Rogue Summer map in the rotation for a bit. Teams are now, I think, starting to get the hang of it here. And we'll see if they got, the new game mode on the new map down pat. And one of these teams, whoever scrims more, are going to have a huge advantage here. If that team happens to be Hefty Cormorant, we go to a map 3, Demolition on Windward. I think that is a very good place to hold what will be the climactic map of the series if we get that far. I know that I have seen a lot of very, very clutch games on Windward that have gone the distance, and I wouldn't be shocked to see that happen again between these two teams. If Cormorant have learned from last time, again, last week, Cute Hamsters looked phenomenal against them, 8-2, 3-1.
Yeah.
In those finals, it was just a one-sided affair, but Cormorant have had time, and now they have King of the Hill to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and I definitely think that this is the first breach it is that we've seen today. I'd be excited if we saw Windward as well, but even though it is a map 3, I am excited to see if it even goes the distance, because it brings out so many questions, so many answers that you actually have to be able to answer with these two. With these two teams going up against one another. We saw Favelas on King of the Hill last time. We'll see it on Demolition this time.
We will. I'm excited to see the demo. I think it is one of demo on Favelas is a map where it's a map and mode combo that I feel like teams have not really begun to crack the surface of how they approach it. I know there are teams that are playing A-side a lot more. I still feel like some teams are copping out with the A-side drop. They start up top, and then as soon as they meet the tiniest inconvenience, Princess in the P, as soon as she rolls over and feels the P, she's like, I'm going to A. Throw me the bomb. I'm running. I'm dropping down. I'm going to A. It does feel like that sometimes. I do want to see teams, I think, find that middle ground on the attack here, because teams do kind of lean towards defense-sided here. It's so easy to rotate down that highway past that truck, playing that parking lot. It does give the defense an advantage, and the attackers, some teams are finding ways to chip away.
Yeah, I completely agree with that as well. I mean, you have plenty of opportunities to be able to try and see how this is obviously going to be a different sort of strategy, right? Like I've mentioned it before, you have King of the Hill with Favelas, and now you have a situation now where they're playing on Demolition. So not only will I I don't know if I can make the same call twice in a row. I'm not going to say that Anvil's either picked or banned here, but I definitely think he has a very high priority on demolition. I think it is worth it, and I think it means something.
I think both teams just want it, though. I think that's what it is. I think Anvil might get by because he is so impactful here on this map. Trench could be a threat. I think for some teams, Trench in particular on this map has been a strong pick. I remember, God, Blue sent me a video of someone in a match dancing on like 8 APSs. Yeah. It was every APS you could possibly get in the game deployed in that one spot on B.
Yes.
Behind the box inside the small garage.
Yeah.
That
absolutely
pretty much goes to show for how much value you get from that. They were able to win off of the every APS we can possibly get composition. And why Trench might be a good pick to ban. I mean, he has strong guns for, I think, controlling it at range. His tear gas grenades, not the most impactful, but they still do, I think, impact the game. Would not be shocked to see him taken out. I keep trying to steal glances. I want to beat the graphics to it, but I don't know if I'm going to get a chance here. Fun. Beyond Anvil or Trench, do you have any inkling of who you think might go away specifically on Favelas?
I definitely think that Seeker is one of those characters that like we've been seeing consistently throughout the day, and I think he's somebody that's just as important to have on your team as the enemy needs to have it on their team, right? I think that intel's so important, and I think being able to have that that immediate arrow, you shoot it out, it's going to reveal everybody. I think that makes it a lot better for you. Intel is always something that's important to have in tactical shooters, and I think being able to maneuver that and manipulate that for your good is what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. That could be it. I mean, we also, I mentioned Fixer 2 while you were talking as well. Fixer 2, someone that Cutie Hamsters are here, right? They might just ban Fixer. That could just be what they do. They've been winning for so long with Fixer banned that has kind of just been, they ban Fixer a lot of the time unless they have a very particular rogue that they do not want to deal with on a map. That's when maybe they'll go out of their way to take it out there. And actually, yeah, Hamsters, Blue just sent me a message there. It was actually Hamsters that were dancing on all the APSs. Hamster versus Lagger. They brought that comp out onto the Favelas. I don't expect them to do it here. I think this is a slightly different scale of game from their perspective, at least. Cormorant were able to knock out some strong teams on the way here. Obviously, they made it to finals last time, so they know that they're a threat. But again, I wouldn't be shocked to see Fixer just taken out there by Cute Hamster here on demo. And probably Trench or Anvil or something along those lines. In response for Cormorant, I think Cormorant has been pretty flexible from start to finish with their bans here with that. But now that they have to, they're going against this juggernaut that is Cute Hamsters. I don't think you can target them. I don't think there's anything particular you can do. We've already seen flexibility in their team. We're seeing Delena giving up the Dahlia that he was playing for so long, giving that over to Frag Out, who has kind of picked it up and thankfully changed his name back from Seekout. Although Delena has changed his name as well. We won't be talking about that until he is on camera for it. But Cute Hamster making it all the way here, you know that they're going to be a threat, and you can't really target ban them. I think you do kind of just have to play it off the map.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, I definitely think that this is one of those situations where having the draft in your favor, especially on a map like Favelas, is going to pay off in dividends, like in its entirety. Because there are some characters on this map that genuinely do run house whenever you have a situation that might be a little bit more dangerous for you to try and play around. I always bring it up, but I have to bring it up again. It's the Anvil. Like I'm not going to make the same call it was that I made last time, but I genuinely think that the Anvil is
this
so
is the second
here.
time we've made this full loop around. To you making that exact call about the Anvil.
It's too good. You got to be able to acknowledge it.
Yeah, you do. And I think they will once they do get the bans in, once they are ready to go into game and get in that as we go here. We're heading back to the series layout, and we do have the bans, and yep, Fixer, he's gone. They don't want to deal with it. Doesn't matter the map. Well, sometimes matters the map, but usually it doesn't matter the map. Fixer will be out, and Chalk in response, so that Trench will get through, all those APSs will get through, but that potential Rage Plant is not going to be available for them if they wanted to use him for that purpose, or just, plant to res self after. The flexibility in that aggressive play is gone. We'll have to figure out something else as we go into the first map of the grand finals of the second qualifier for the CMG 10k Roco showdown. Money is on the line here, 1,000 to be split between the top 8 teams. And this is where the majority of it is going to go between these two. Whoever comes out on top, the juggernauts of the Rogue Company scene, Cute Hamster, or the competitors, the repeat finalist appearance, Hefty Cormorant. If they've learned from last week, they have a chance, but it is so difficult to take this team down.
Yeah, it is. It is something that has been, no matter the situation, no matter the time, Cute Hamster has been on top time and time again. We see the glitch as well. Yeah, and I'm glad you actually mentioned that, because this is something that we've seen like on and off throughout the day. But more importantly, we've seen it be brought up consistently as things have just sort of maneuvered in the pocket of a blue team here. Excuse me. It's just sort of been a very well utilized tool, and I think that means a lot, especially playing in the demolition here into the opposing draft. I think it makes it just that much better.
I would agree. I think they can make use of it. We don't see it a ton on maps outside of the very specific ones for them. Sometimes we see it on High Castle. We see it on Factory quite a bit. But Favelas, I have not seen it. I've seen it before, but not too much. I know you can get some great intel on how far they're stacking, what side of the map they're on, and you can break down a lot of that trench utility. If he throws it down early, that's kind of another big part of it, because of such a defensive, utility-heavy team. You take what you can get with the glitch, whatever you can destroy, the shield, the barbed wire, the APSs, the trip mines. Anything you can remove from your path is an advantage that your team can play off of. Is this a full low ground start? A soccer field rush? Gronky is running already, as they are setting up maybe to just start here on the low.
Yeah, maybe it is something that they have to be a little bit more careful about, as well as sort of just playing back, taking their time. The trench barbed wire gets tossed out as well, and it's preventing anybody else from making it onto the objective, on the point. Things have been a little bit more prominent for them, I would say. Things have just been rough. The intrusion gets detected. They use a glitch, and the barbed wire gets broken, but even still, they're still holding on. They're playing pretty passively as everyone tries to make their way to rotate to the next site.
Dangerously low, Gronky got, but they didn't have anyone pushing to finish it. And guess what? Cute Hamsters, this is what they do. They res each other. They keep each other alive. First down will go in their favor. 2 for them here as well. The flanking Halo drones will do basically nothing as they run in. It's only the Dahlia left standing, and now Canny is laying on the floor. That was a clinical retake and post-plant game plan from Cute Hamster, and they just played their MO. They resed each other. They didn't get down from utility, and then they walked all over them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it ended up being something that really benefited them. And I think that because of that benefit, it overall, just the overall, like, patience and the calculated play that we see from Cute Hamster, everyone's rotating. They're already ready to be on top of it, right? And that's something that we would expect to see from the top-seeded team. And it's something that's been working. And it is something that worked out extremely well for them.
Yeah, I think it has been to their benefit, and they will continue to take advantage of that moving forward here as they ran straight through. That would always makes me laugh whenever I get to see that one happen.
Yeah.
That is not a good place for them. That is a tough place, Bomb. Wanted to go over that barricade. They might be able to watch that now, but I have a feeling they'll just grab it. Kestrel did get it as they try to make their move. Not as much of an upper B stacked defense. You do see the one-player small garage on the right, of course, but as many people are stacked up fairly close by, Kenny has to be careful for Delena there on the right side, watching him. Just got the intel, didn't have to do anything with it. An attempted nade, dropped right away. Perfect timing on the peak from Frag Out, an advantage, Cute Hamster.
Yeah. It seems like for right now, though, that they still have, obviously, a decent time being able to try and push this one in. They melt one down. That's one gone. There's a second one as well, as there's 3 members that get killed. They clean up shop here and make this work for them. Cute Hamster, another game in the back, another round, excuse me, in the back pocket for them.
Don't go that far ahead, Fawn. They are looking strong here on the defense, but I have mentioned this is a strong map for the defense as is. Attacking will be tough, though, when you only have 1 down so far. Story the only one to do it on this glitch. I just don't know if I really love the timing of the hacks. I get that you do it early on your pistol round, because really what utility do they have at that point? They've probably bought one thing that you likely won't be able to interact with too much. So I think it makes sense to use it then, but I don't know if I love the timing of it for their pushes so far. They've been kind of just mowed down on the way in. Hylight window position with an APS. I think that is fairly standard at this point, but some warehouse control the far left, as also would be expected from them. But what will they do with it? They're all stacked on the high ground this time. And the garage door forward, they find Story completely alone, but Canny just in time to save him from Hylight's wrath and sends him back.
This is definitely something that is already a 2-0 scenario, and a beautiful C4 as well manages to get another down. They just keep the pressure on him. They get another kill, and it's just filtering through for Cute Hamster. They haven't stopped. They've been stepping on the gas, and the car's been moving the whole time.
Hylight threw a brick on the gas pedal because he just wiped their entire team. Every single member of that team was taken down by Hylight, and some people, he's at 7 downs, more than his entire team combined right now. You look at it, you say, oh, why is Ink off the team? You know, why didn't they why didn't Bobster come back? Why are they both on their own team? Hylight's going to keep playing like this. I think he's making his own case for himself for anyone just relying on the names. Great performance by him so far. Got them to finals and won it last week. Already off to a good start here. Game number 1 of the grand finals of week number 2. Also, just a great pick for this map. Obviously, the Anvil on here is super impactful, but he's making it work even beyond that with his positioning. And Gronky, padded steps, gotta be padded step Stalker, running him down. Kenny already out of the game.
Yeah, and it seems like for right now, seems to be more and more as the games go on, as the rounds go on, excuse me, more in the back pocket of Q Hamster. I mean, they have just been not able to adapt on the side of Hefty Cormorant, and it's showing. Like, they've been getting down after down. They're throwing the drones around the corner, and they're just popping people. It just makes it worse.
I mean, only 2 player left. They have the bomb at least. They didn't lose that, and Hylight will be down and finished off by Story. But again, padded step Stalker. They can't hear him coming. He's got a good flank, but he whiffs some of the shots. Only 1 headshot. Gronky sent running. We'll have to go all the way back, and frag out is very dangerously low. They know they have to play numbers at this point. They saw where the bomb was. They know how they're going to get out of here potentially, and they see them cross, but Gronky won't peek. Both of them now exposed. Taking a 2v1 is risky, but his team is there to help him, and now he's going for another flanking position with this padded step Stalker combo, but he's not willing to push any further because they're just playing that number advantage once again.
Yeah, it's just harder. The longer the games go on, the worse of an opportunity that you have to be able to try and adapt when you're losing this quickly, right? Typically, you have a situation where you have time to adapt, but Cute Hamster's not letting them adapt to any situation that they've been posed with. He takes the zip line up, uses the stim, and now there's 3 people already looking at him. They down 2, though, so this might be huge. They might even be able to get a pickup on somebody else.
But the thing is, I think they just win at this point, because Story has to stick the plant. They're going to run in and try to fight him. It is a 2 versus 1. He does get it down. Rez takes quite a bit of time. So he's there, caught out though. 4 HP has the stim shot. Man. This has got to be it. Story sent running, but we've seen him win situations like this before. Behind that mask is Stone Cold Steel. Story somehow turns it around into both of them, letting him res. What a comeback.
Man,
the second.
Man.
A crazy clutch we've seen him do. He's grilling on him, and he's deserved it. It's a hot rogue summer, and he's looking the hottest on Hefty Cormorant right now.
What a way to end the round, too. I mean, you get plenty of kills, you clutch for your team, and you make this not a 4-0, but instead you take the first point for your team on this map. That's a great look, but it has to not come down to him every round. It has to be more of a team effort. It has to be more of a challenge of working together as a team to try and put a stall, to try and stall out Cute Hamster's momentum. That's a great way to start it, but can they continue this?
It'll be tough. It's the emit pain effect from game 1, right? Think about game 1 today. Just close your eyes, zoom back to game 1. The only rounds they won was emit pain having crazy clutches, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That is not a sustainable way to win a game. They can get some rounds out of it, but you will not realistically be able to continue with that down the line. You have to have everyone performing, and literally every single limb on the side of Cormorant is in the pocket of, oh, can we switch POVs? Delena is trolling us at this point with these spins. Every limb on the side of Cormorant is for Story from that round.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did it all himself that round, literally. And again, that's not sustainable for them to have. Yeah. But they're playing it differently now, Stefan. They're slowing things down. Story's on the low ground with the bomb, but they're selling a fake up top.
Yeah. And I think for right now that this is becoming more and more dangerous for him too. As he's cooking the grenade. Manages to swap back out. Everyone's just playing passive. Like, they have to find some sort of way to push on to a point. They have to find an objective they can commit to. Story's up pretty far. And Gronky is trying to play around the corners here. This is the longest wait ever. Like, they have to find some sort of way to get in.
I love watching Gronky flank because he's just power walking like someone's mom in the city trying to get their steps in for the day over there on the flank. This is how you do it with padded step stalker. He is running down
exactly
at a medium pace, but still managing to get around. He's behind Joker up that. They got the bomb planted. I think he came all the way back up top now. So that whole fake that he started, they just did not end up committing to it. But here's the flank. What can Delena get? No kills quite yet. Gronky now coming in with the power walk to clean everything else out. It's just the Seeker and the Glitch left. They're both watching the bomb. They could just close this. And they could just protect this defuse. I think they pretty much have it locked down at this point. But they hear Gotti coming. He goes for the fight. Has to win it. Frag out, of course, will help him with that. And with Story down, the story is over. The defuse will come in 4-1. Cute Hamsters will stretch their lead just a little bit further.
There it is. There's a defuse. that works.
We got it.
I mean, they played it very effectively. I mean, they sort of just waited back. I mean, they took a little bit too long to push in, I think, on the side of a Hefty Cormorant, because on the push, they weren't quite able to take advantage of anything. They really just let things, not go well for them. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. That's sort of the problem. That's sort of the issue. And I think that's dangerous to be able to, like, let Cute Hamster keep spiraling out of control like this. Like I said, they put a stall on it with Story, making sure that he had the clutch. But you can't only rely on him. You got to find some sort of ways to work together as a team to try and stall out their overall pressure.
Yeah, I think for Cormorant, I think you got to just stop letting Cute Hamster res. I know me and Blue literally harp on it every week because it's just a huge thing, a huge part of their game plan. They don't let these picks happen. People who go in for pushes don't necessarily do it in a way where they can be punished. They always do it with a teammate that can actually help them and trade them out in some way. But for now, they're just on the side of Cormorant. They're playing slow, but they're spread this time. It's not as up top. This time, the bomb's a lot closer to the A site, and an engagement is breaking out now. Gronky caught out by Joker. Traded out immediately by Hylight, though. And guess what? Joker will fall. Gronky won't. That's the difference maker here. That's the Cute Hamster difference.
You're right. You're right. It's looking rough as the times go on right now. I mean, Hamster is on their A game. Time and time again, we've seen them try and push in, but it's just been shut down at every single angle. They even throw in a grenade, and Pix manages to down himself here. They pick him back up, but even still, it's an uphill battle. They managed to get a couple, though, and that's great. But what about the rest of the team? There's still 3 of them remaining. What more is there to do?
Not much, because the round's over.
Yeah.
There is nothing else to do. Story was the only one that made it. Again, the story of this game is that Story is the only one that made a difference in the very end there. He pushes at perfect timing to catch out the player that was trying to do that wide peek on the back of site. He gets that kill, but gets downed by the second nade. Delena's first one did not really go quite well, but the second nade, that one strikes true. That one down Story. And once Story is down, the rest of Cute Hamsters just hold W or hold up on the left stick. They just walk in, and no one on Cormorant is really ready for that pressure. And now we're getting at the half. Cute Hamsters could be going into this 6-1. Cormorant really have to find out how they want to approach this, and luckily they approached it slightly to the left to avoid that nade.
Yeah. It seems like for right now, though, they have the grenade cooked. Flashbang is there. They have a bomb available to them as well. They just gotta wait. They sort of just need their time to try and work things out. They take shots into the garage, but still they manage to get it. Kestrel drones, and she downs and kills herself. That means that it's now going to be a 3-on-3. We hate to see it, man. We really do hate to see it.
Where did that happen? Did that happen on the left? Did he get the garage door closed in his face? I actually can't tell exactly where he died on the map here, but Canny with another? Canny's showing up here in the last round where he really needed to for them, and it's just one player left. It's the Kestrel, it's Gronky, probably power walking somewhere and in just the right spot, apparently, because he caught out Canny. This bomb went down, but now this is a much more doable 1v2 situation. If Story can do it, Maybe Gronky can too, but he could just pull out that hack and literally see where he is at any time and find out how close he is to him, know when he's going for the defuse, and that's the intel they really need.
And it seems like for right now, over things at a 5-1. I guess find some sort of way in, but he just gets melted. He even got one down thanks to the melee. He barely escaped that one. And he's just going to be clean. That's just it. You dust your hands off of that one, and that's pretty much what you want to be able to see.
That was the most doable of that didn't go right. The fact that he insta-gibbed Gotti and could have just turned kind of makes me scared for Cormorant going forward. But of course, it was Story left. Story's the one who's dragging his team along in some of these rounds when he's the final one left, the final one standing, ready to fight. But you can look at the comp from Cormorant. They're not copying Cute Hamster. They're just playing what is the meta here, I would say. Kestrel, Anvil, potentially Trench, I think wouldn't be shocking to see come out from Canny, and we will see that. But I want to see what Cute Hamster bring to the table here. I mean, Chalk's not in the picture. No Fixer, of course, and it's a glitch again, Kestrel Seeker. So I'm liking this comp from Cute Ham from both sides, honestly. But the pistol round is, I think, going to determine who can maybe get the ball rolling.
Yeah, and it seems like for the most part that things are sort of shaping up more and more for Cute Hamster here. So obviously the draft goes out, and then we have to deal with another situation that might be not as favorable for Hefty Cormorant if they can't sort of get their mind together, if they can't sort of get their time, their style, everything it is that they need to be able to try and benefit the most from it. You know, like they got to take more time to try and see what waits in the mist, honestly, because they took too long on one push, and then the other one didn't quite go as well because they keep getting picked off so quickly. That's a beautiful way to start it, though. You get one pick and you get even more.
Yeah, I was going to say, Vaughn, I think we're taking too long about this push right now because this one's almost over. It is just Hylight left in a 1 versus 4 and not even going to get a little bit of extra cash in the bank. That is a huge turnaround round coming out of Cormorant, who just accidentally walked over a trip mine. That's unlucky near the very end, but they needed that. They needed something.
Yeah.
Is really all it comes down to here. Something to get off to an early lead here, something to equalize as quickly as they can.
Yeah, it's I think that for right now, the things are it's hard to really say because Hefty Cormorant was able to at least get the pick and the round off of Cute Hamster, and right now it's looking 3-5. That's great. However, the only issue it is that I foresee is that it seems like they sort of keep scraping by these wins, and it doesn't feel as confident. That round was the first time that I felt like that they were confident in their gameplay, in their style, and I think this might even work out for them because of it.
Yeah, I think so. If they can keep that confidence of how they were playing that moving forward here. Canny knocked low, though. Gronky, perfect timing on that push. As Fragout looking stylish here. Bust out those hot Rogue Summer skins. If you get this skin, you too will play like Fragout. I don't know if that's not approved by the FDA. Taking some ground here, though, on the outside. I like how they're approaching this, but they lose the bomb, and they can't get Hylight again. It's kind of in the open, but now the power is in the hands of Cormorant. They have the bomb down. Yep. Delena has to go try to get it. He just can't do it. And now they're still hanging on, getting flanked, and they stall out in arguably the worst position they possibly could have. Stuck out there on the fence, surrounded from every angle. The bomb in the hands of the enemy team, and it will help Cormorant bring this game just a little bit closer.
You're right. I mean, it is... They are slowly tying up this game. They're slowly getting there. The score is 5-4, and now you see that the eliminations, the downs are pretty much led by Story. I still need to see a lot from them in terms of team play. If this is how the scoreline is going to be the entire time, I still need to see a lot more from them in terms of team play. So I think that this is a great look and a great opportunity for them to really try and bounce back. For this to be a 4-5 already, which was looking really dominant for Cute Hamster.
Yeah, I think Cormorant are really clawing their way back in this game as we go on. But now Cute Hamster have found, well, they've changed some of a game plan here. They are moving up on the high ground for the first time this round so far. Low ground was not working for them. Maybe they can surprise Gotti here with his timing. Well-timed frag. Gotti, of course, is able to escape that, saw it coming. And they're not really able to break anything down. They're just trying to find someone with some utility, but Story's the one who finds it, will get frag. Gotti is staring for it, and Delena knows he's coming with it. They will live through the bounce nade, though. They might be able to get this res, but they think there's more coming. They get that res, and they're stuck in this corner, waiting for someone to push into them. But they're all kind of trapped. This keeps happening for them. They're getting surrounded and pinched by the members of Cormorant, and they need to find a way to break out, get a kill, maybe pick up a MLX or something. Halo drones will not find anything here. They'll go for that res again. That's the cute hamster difference. But if you know when to push, Story, flawless timing, runs in, burns them all down. It's only the Kestrel standing. He can't res his teammate, and Canny will clean up the last. Cormorant are looking so good on this defense. The util is right. The timing is right. The crossfires are right. What a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, that is the absolute way that you turn things around for your side. For your side of the bracket, right? I mean, Story, like, he's definitely the MVP of this match, because how many times have we mentioned his name where he's just managed to clutch things out for his team? That's just what they've been able to do. They've been able to work that out for them, and that's just been great, because Story has really been putting in the work right now.
16 downs is quite a bit. I think it's a pretty good performance.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, yes.
He's doing pretty good, especially for someone that is now playing Kestrel, so he'll be getting a lot more money throughout this game if they continue to play at that level. Canny, the only one on A, I think, realizing, hey, no one's here. I don't think it's a fake. We're hearing noises up top. I need to rotate because cute hamsters are changing up the pace. They are on the move now, running in the barbed wire. Will slow them down. The APS will save them for one more moment. It will get destroyed by that hack as it came in. A lot of utility coming in. They need to move and find something off of this hack because they're taking ground, I think, on the left, but no one's actually going down. Finally, Gronky gets the better of Story, but it is a 1-for-1, and Story still standing. Finally, a pick equalizing, though, from Cute Hamster's side. Get that down. Will they be able to rest Delena? Whoa! What? The angle from Hylight! He pushes in. He downs some fragouts there for the trade. They might even go for to get this bomb down with some APSs in the way as well. The glitch will start planting. It is a 1v0 v3, which means Cute Hamsters will get the round win, and it's their first successful attack.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, this is, you're right, this is their first successful attack. This is the time where they're able to break this tie that Hefty Cormorant seemed to have so much control over them. It just made it hard for them to really see anything that was going their way because of how quickly they were able to tie things up. Now, this, I think, is when Cute Hamsters start to adapt their strategy, when they start to play a little bit more, I don't know if I want to say more aggressive or like smarter or what it could be, because it's hard to like pinpoint it that way. Like it's hard to pinpoint it in that sort of phrasing. But I think the terminology it is that I'm looking for here is they have to play a little bit more confident, because they're getting pincered a lot, and it's just their overall positioning that's sort of suffering at the end of the day. So, yeah,
I think it's more. They played that round aggressive because they knew that the pace had to change. Something had to change, right? And it clearly ended up working out for them. If Hylight chooses to hack here, he could actually make a huge hit on the utility that they've placed down, but they burn it with drones instead. I think both APSs are out. They're going to get rid of that, and now the hack will get rid of the last of the utility if they choose to spend it here. 2 APSs are down. A bit of just kind of a game poking back and forth here, right? If they decide to get both of these, they're burning it with just the rest of their util. But Joker, they find the timing. Joker and Story, they push the left side. They get 2 down. It's a 2 versus 4 now. And they're still holding on to that hack, but Delena down to a trip mine. It's just Hylight keeping his team in the game. He'll get 1 down, but he is getting inted on by everybody else. Downs Gotti as well. Maybe has a chance if he gets up here, but gets the slow climb. Won't be able to finish off those kills, though. They'll get both of those reses, and he's back in a 2 versus 4 when it didn't look like that a moment ago. Double flash won't affect the anvil, no. Worst possible person to be on the receiving end of that. That's a big mag to shoot a body with. That's going to cost a lot of money on the when you're trying to refill it. But another down for Story. Still a dominant performance from him, I think. Now tied with the rest of his team combined as Cute Hamsters lose another round in a row.
Yeah. I mean, this is looking pretty clinical. I like the fact that I really do enjoy the fact that Hefty Cormorant are playing to their strengths here. They realize that the flanks are a little bit weak on the side of Cute Hamster. They realize that they're losing a lot of these fights centered around the objective, because they're staring down certain sight lines, and they're taking advantage of those blind spots and making sure that they maneuver it to work out for them. And it's overall just a great time. And I'm sure the boys on Hefty Cormorant are feeling great about it even more, right? Like I feel like they're feeling even better about tying it up, especially against a team like Cute Hamster.
Yeah, Cormorant definitely feeling good about this, considering they've already gotten 4 more rounds in their last demo they played against Cute Hamsters. Here's the hack, though. This is the timing of the push, but they lose someone already on the way in, and the Halos get another Delena downed and finished. There by them, they have to get this res on the Kestrel, or they're not really going to have a chance in this round. But an interesting reaction from Story. I think he says, all right, they lost that push up top. I am going to run all the way over here. I think they're going to make a cut over to A. But if they just stay committed up top, this might not be the right call, but it is the right call. Fragout has dropped Hylight Gronky already on site. They have no idea. But he's stomping. I think they heard him. He was sprinting. They got the ears. Headsets are plugged in, Story down, and suddenly this round's a lot more doable for them, especially if they get this bomb down here. Choosing to hold off on it for now. Just playing for frags instead. The bomb is being taken fairly far forward and might actually get down here. They're playing for the double kill on Canny. Double peek will get him low. It's only Gotti still standing. They finish off Canny, and it's Gotti in a 1 versus 2. Small advantage for him if he can get this res. He's sent running away. He doesn't have a lot of HP left. It's just the Dahlia with the link to the trench, so maybe some gadgets left. But they know where he is, but there's 13 seconds. If he lives and stops the plant...
Wow.
Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking here on this round was not going to happen clearly here. Good round from Cute Hamster, though. They played around their res as well. Even though they lost someone early, they adapted and they kept their ears on... they kept their ears open, and they heard Story's attempt.
So far, I think that what they need to do to try to adapt on the side of Hefty Cormorant, they did so well with how they were positioning that game. It's just that one unfortunate pick on the Story was what sort of allowed them to shift momentum that quickly, because Cute Hamster definitely played their numbers immediately after they got that pick. They really bogarted their way through the remaining members of Hefty Cormorant, and it just made it more dangerous, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so. I think they have made things a lot more dangerous for them. Cute Hamster on slow ground space. They have 2 reveals here. That definitely feel a little dangerous to all these people that are over here that could potentially find you, but there are a lot of APSs. This is why I was saying maybe they wanted to ban Trench, but they held off on it.
Yeah.
Their own choice. Double smoke. This is going to open the door for them as they move in, but where is their 4th player? We can't see him. It looks like all the way on the far right. I think my own webcam is actually in the way of them, but they're sitting in the low ground. This hasn't been working for them, and yet they return to it. And they're just burning utility and maybe burning themselves, but they finally bait in Canny for a pick. He might not be able to get rezzed either, but he does have the Dahlia link, and they trade out Fragout for it.
Seems like for right now, they are at least trying to play a little bit more back. They get the shots, though. The Cannibals manages to find one, but they trade him out almost instantly. This will be the time. Yeah, I agree. They should move in to try and pick up Gronky here, because they don't want anything to go wrong. But him swinging around on the side means that the rest of Hefty Cormorant are able to sweep this one under the rug. My goodness, what a play! What a play!
Fawn, it's just not working. It's almost like in the plane they're saying, do we want to win or lose this round? And if they want to lose this round, they go field all the way over. It's just not working. And when it did work, it was by a hair. I think they gotta just play the B side. I know they got bullied out last time, but I think they could maybe use the hack as a fake, bait out some util. They got Halo drone right at the start of it. Spend it, get some APSs with it, be willing to get the counter utility, and then make a push. I just do not like the soccer field force. And here they go again, the same way as they did last time.
Yeah, they are trying to keep the pressure on them right now, as things are becoming a little bit more hectic for them. Seems like things are not necessarily going the way of Hefty Cormorant so far. And the reason why I say that, even though nothing's happened, is because of the fact that they're getting a lot of space over by A site. They are watching it, but you see them slowly starting to filter their way in, and this could be a huge moment for them. They toss out the nade, not going to quite find the hit, but Gronky repositions himself and finds him playing a little bit more of a forward angle watching the bridge. He's not going to push that yet though.
The shifting back up top, I think they might have been sold on this because Story's doing this, but we've also seen Story kind of be the one to try to match the flank, I think, because of that padded step stalker combo that we're seeing right now on this. And I think he might, again, be in the right position, just can't sprint like he did last time. Hopefully he's paying a little more attention to that. Gronky ready to make a rotation or sitting down by the water, just keeping his eyes over. It is a very patient round so far for them, but the bomb is planted. They actually managed to sneak into the site and get it. I think they pulled a few of them away. Use some utility. Hylight so low, but this flank from above. This is so important. It has to be good, but it's not. He gets one. It's Delena. That's the Delena down. They have no chance to get that distance to res. But are they going to be able to res this Kestrel? I don't think there's a chance in hell, and the rest of them will fall right after. Brought to the edge. Round number 15. But they still managed to pull it out in the end. What a round. They finally won. Going on the edge. Right. They finally won going on the edge of the map, and it was the slowest round I've probably ever seen.
Yeah, that is that was really a tug of war. I definitely would say that that's what it looks like for the most part, because of the fact that it was, okay, we're tied at 1-1, now we're tied at 2-2, now we're tied at 3-3, and it always seemed to sort of bounce their way back. There would be times where the lead would sort of widen, and you would have situations where you would you would have situations where the lead would widen, and you would have like a couple games or maybe 3 games ahead, but then they will come back and tie it back up. And I think that that's a great point of contention to be able to make against the number 1 seeded team. And I think that makes it even better coming into the King of the Hill, where we'll be seeing a lot more fights and a lot more consistency. I'm floored with the fact of how much it is that they sort of were able to fight back and forth with those guys, man. I mean, that was great. That was a great match to watch.
It's a huge improvement from last week. I remember last week 8-2. Now it was a 8-7, literally as close as you can get it without just turning out the win on their own. So I think big improvement from Cormorant so far, and they're looking good on King of the Hill from what we saw earlier. So it's going to depend a lot on how cute Hamsters are looking on it. I will say they came back from a close game on the King of the Hill against Right Turtle. Obviously I was casting. I could not tune into the entire thing. I didn't get to see it from start to finish. I didn't see who won map 1. I believe it was Right Turtle, so they must have won the King of the Hill. And I saw that Right Turtle were playing with an advantage at the start. So 2 rounds straight for them on Icarus, I believe it was, that they played against each other. They've shown fortitude on a respawn. They've improved so drastically in respawns from last month to this month. Their strikeout at the start of the month was not great. It was not great. And by the end of the month, they were losing demos to Right Turtle and beating them on strikeout. So they had seen a marked performance increase, which will carry over in some way to King of the Hill. Again, it is probably the most dynamic mode we have in the game now. But it is still a respawn, and it's still something they've had to kind of learn and master over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I think that in a situation like this, that you have to be ready to fight consistently on King of Hill, on King of the Hill. But the reason why I'm like sort of pointing out the obvious here because the point I'm trying to make is that Cute Hamster they have been on point and always ready to fight. No matter the scenario, no matter the situation, they want to fight. That's what they want to do. And that's just the overall gist of what King of the Hill encompasses, especially on a map like this as well. A map that it is that we haven't quite seen as often. Breach.
At all.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, right. I'm just used to playing on it. Like I'm just used to playing on it in my own free time. Breach with running this having King of the Hill on Breach means that this map is a lot wider, and there's so much cover on this map too. It means that those who are able to sort of lock down these sites are going to have a huge advantage because of the amount of cover that there is to play around. And that really comes into play like later on as the rounds sort of filter from one spot to the next.
Yeah, for sure. I want to see how the teams play it. I want to see how things go in the bans, of course. I wouldn't be shocked to just see, you mentioned a wide map. I wouldn't be shocked to just see cute Hamsters get rid of Fixer because they don't like them. As they are one to do on basically any map, any mode. We did see some more bans on Strikeout from them, I think, but they seem to only really go away from their particular bans against Right Turtle. When they're playing against this team that they literally know inside and out because they played against them for so long. Would not be shocked to see them just kind of fall back on that fixer. Once again, here on King of the Hill, could even, if they think they can play without the Anvil, we could see that too. Anvil has been a big force on Koth so far with his ability to lock down on the site. And obviously MLX, anyone who challenges him, nerf be damned, he's still able to do quite a bit with it. And wouldn't be shocked to see him taken out for that exact reason. Whatever team is more confident, I think, in their gunplay, right? Because you think you don't need the shield on point to win the fights. Get rid of them, and you might be giving yourself a little bit of an edge.
Right, exactly. And I genuinely think that having this sort of back and forth as well allows teams to be able to adapt a lot quicker, because as opposed to Demolition, where you have to sort of adapt like on a round to round basis, what did we do wrong that round, you can sort of be able to understand what you did wrong that point fight, right? Since there's time and time again where you have to sort of filter out this sort of aggressive play style where you sort of have to play in the face of your opponent a lot, and seeing what so seeing that this is what's going on King of the Hill is probably the most important part. It is the fact that you as a team have to buckle down, fight consistently, and try and steal this one away from Cute Hamster that already has the momentum. You can adapt a lot quicker because you're able to understand things from a point to point basis as opposed to a round to round basis.
Yeah, I think that would make sense for them here, but we are finally going into Rogue Select. We don't know what rogues were banned between the teams. Hopefully we will get an update from an admin in chat to give us that intel early, but Chalk Kestrel, not particularly surprised, but you mentioned the map being wide, so flanking is going to be the way to go, right? You see the Lancer getting picked up. I think that will be a impact player if they can keep him distracted enough up front. Delena, the last one on the side of Cute Hamster to lock in their pick, and not even hovering anything on Cormorant. They're keeping us in suspense basically the whole time. Fixer did get through. Cute Hamsters did not ban them. It is a Vi ban from Cormorant and a Anvil ban there from Cute Hamster. So we mentioned the Anvil being banned, and I said I think the team that's more confident in their gunny is going to be the team that bans the Anvil. I think Cute Hamsters have quite a few right to be confident about how well they can aim, considering their track record of success, how long they've been able to be a strong performer here, but pretty much a mirror matchup here. The Dahlia Seeker will be the difference maker. Lancer on both sides. We do love to see it. It is an exciting pick here. And King of the Hill, our literal first look at Cute Hamsters on this game mode, and I cannot wait to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, seeing this Chalk, seeing the Lancer, this is something that we brought up before as well, about maps that really benefit from having these flanks. And I think this is definitely one of those times where those flanks are, this is huge, because I mentioned the cover. I mentioned before on a previous map about the whole aspect of being like Mission Impossible, secret agent Chalk, secret agent Lancer, because you can use this cover to your advantage and sneak from point to point. And Lancer's ability, the quick and quiet, makes that even better, and it makes it even easier to be able to do anything with. But my goodness, they end up getting shredded here already on the first few minutes of the game.
Oh,
32 seconds, I should say.
What a dominant start here from Cute Hamsters. Literally just down someone with a nade. You're not even done giving. You're like, I think this is how the Rogue should play. Gotti's already down. Gotti's already dead. He's respawning. Gray Screen Simulator already back to the start here. And now Cute Hamsters holding on to the hill. It will be Hylight kind of as this anchor here on it while the rest of them go out to fight. And I love that strategy, because every fight you take will be advantage to you. And Gotti doesn't know where Hylight is. Even with the rage popped, Hylight still might end up on the better end because of that cover right from the back. They have total hill control. But we mentioned it before. This isn't the hill that is the longest. This is the shortest hill in the round. The next one will be the most valuable. And how is Cormorant's control on that one?
Yeah, I think that for right now, first off, to be able to have 37-2, that's already huge, because you're talking about a situation where not only have they not been able to sort of touch or do much of anything, but there's more and more times where this is happening, where they're sort of grouped up and they're letting this Chalk pretty much run everything. Hylight has been running at people because that's what his character is. That's what his character can do better than most of the other cast, you know? So I I definitely think that if you're on the side of Hefty Cormorant, that you have to try and stop this, slow this down in whatever way that you can. Try and have your chalk meet him on whatever flank it is that he might be in, because he's already behind him, and this could be looking dangerous so far, Chris.
And this is a great contest from Hylight. I think he is very hard to actually fight into here, but he doesn't know. He doesn't know that their Kestrel is right there on the back of the hill. Could have been a great push from him, but just did not have the intel that he needed. So this will be the rest of the hill, looks like, will go in favor of Cormorant as the rest of Cute Hamster decide to shift towards the next one. They will head towards C and figure out how they want to go from there. You can already see some gunfights happening around that as the rest of the members try to go in. It's kind of on Gronky, I think, to hold it down as they can't find their way back in. They already held it, but surprise, right through the window, somehow not reacting in time. Can he survive through the second fight as well? Hylight gets the better of him, has his teammate to help him, but you don't want to lose a 1v2 like that.
Yeah, I think that genuinely, to be able to find this much pressure, to be able to find this much control over the map, I mean, they're just rolling into him time and time again, and they've had a hard time stopping Cute Hamster from just keeping their foot on the gas. This has been, every time they have gained control over the objective, you see things like this, where they are controlling high ground, they're controlling a lot of these corners, and it's hard for them to even push through to do anything. And that's what's so scary about all of this. They do manage to flood in the kills their way, but this is still such a tremendous lead on the side of Cute Hamsters.
Cormorant did manage to retake the hill here, though. They have it for now, but you can see Cute Hamsters poised and ready to attack from this flank, but they're getting stalled out. I mean, that's how you play it, I think. One person anchored on the site, everyone else playing another angle here, but an attempt was made, trying to get out and towards where the next site would be, surrendering this one, but landing right in the gun of Hylight, waiting for him, absolutely just shredding here on the chalk. They do have control of this next hill. The last one still winning these gunfights, even with the disadvantage. How does it keep happening? They're just so good at trading for each other, and they're at 85 and climbing.
Yeah, this is, I mean, this is control. This is pure dominance right now. I mean, I can't even really say pure dominance, but with how these mids have been going, every point it is that they've gained has been off of the initial fight. And every point it is they've gained after that has been off of how long they've been holding it. Like, Hefty Cormorant have been able to make it to the objective, to be able to control it, but it hasn't been the easiest time. And that's what we're seeing right now. The bounce nade, Fragoo, like, it's hard for them to push through. They're just struggling.
But you can't call him Fragoo. Come on, man. I know he's got the sauce, but you can't call him Fragoo. Holding so close here on the hill. 134, 135 and climbing with only 10 seconds left. I don't think any sudden death is going to work out for this one, but they are just getting torn apart on Cormorant. Now they're trying to get in. What started as a closer game is now falling to pieces for them. 1 round advantage for Cute Hamsters, and they are 1 round away from getting their 4th collective week win in a row. They're no strangers to that. Cormorant, they showed that they can do it on the last map. They just got to find out how they want to play it.
Yeah, and I think that that right now, you look at the scoreline right here. I mean, this is a very telling tale of how the match has been going.
Do you think Delena is a good player? I don't know. I've been watching Roco Comedy for a while, and I'm starting to come around. I think Delena's all right, regardless of how many times he changes his name and makes me call him something different on cast. This time I will not be changing it. I won't be saying that one. No matter how much he wants me to. Gotti low again. This is the story of the last round too. Literally started with Gotti almost getting insta down, but this time it's Hylight. Flip the chalks. The story is the same. Cormorant might be the first ones to take control here. We'll be able to get even more from that. Gronky, the only one to equalize, but it's all Cormorant here in the kill feed otherwise.
Yeah, it seems like for right now that this is Cormorant changing things for the better for them. As now Cute Hamster have to try and make their way slowly down these stairs and try and see if they can play retake here. It is a struggle right now for anybody trying to find their own space and time, anything it is that they need. They were able to clean things up on the tail end of that, but they already have to start heading to the next point, which is exactly what they're doing.
Yep. Already making a move, getting a flash here on someone. Not really able to push it. Rolled into by Story and actually losing this one. Difference is now from round to round. These fights aren't necessarily all going the way of Hylight, who was just dominant last time. And this hill will be in control of Cormorant. They were shifting to the hills early in the previous round too, but they just could not for the life of them hold on to him. Butterfingers for them, and now things are being contested. But they lose the first one. Delena down to the Semtex. Another one from Joker. The flank is huge from the Lancer. Can he get 3? He'll force the chalk in, and his team will clean him up. A totally different look from Cormorant, I think, in these last couple of rounds, as Gronky is set running away. Story wants blood, and he will get it with the D40C. This hill is firmly in their favor. Cute Hamsters have to reset.
Yeah, and I think that this is an overall rough time for him. You know, like this is just a rough time for Cute Hamster this go around. But of course, they still have plenty of time available to them to try and turn this for the better. But I do agree with what you were saying before. This is an entirely different look from what we've seen from Hefty Cormorant before. This is not the same Hefty Cormorant that we saw last round. They're changing things up, but this is going to be a bit of a battle, a bit of an uphill battle, I would say, for Hefty Cormorant, because they managed to knock down 2, but even still, they turned it around. I was just about to say that, like, Cute Hamster was the one in the lead, but Hefty Cormorant, they turned it around at the last minute.
So I lost my train of thought because I got flashbanged too. Every time that happens, my monitor saturation is too damn high, Fawn. Now control of the hill. Control the hill in favor of Cormorant again. The end of that hill went to Cute Hamster, which let them flip it one more time. But now things have evened back up. But there are 2 members of Hamster on the flank. You can see them on the minimap. They are poised and ready to make a move. It's the Lancer. And it is the Seeker there on the backside. But they're waiting for their teammates. They're waiting for their teammates. I think it's smart to do. The Rage will keep Hylight alive through that, but they're not ready to go yet. They're waiting, but now they have the first pick. Delena opened the door for them. There's 2 down. Make that 3 immediately. Only 1 down in response. They will flip this hill and likely equalize the score. But the next hill is going to be so crucial. If this is contested for even a little bit, the time is going to be so close.
It seems like, obviously, everyone else is heading over to that spot already. It's 72 and climbing on the side of Cute Hamster. How much will they be able to gain or garner from this situation here? As things are becoming more dangerous, they down 1. Hylight, Gronky, both out of the way. Pix manages to get rid of them, manages to get rid of that as well. And man, oh man, that is a rough look so far. Things have just been still climbing on the side of the objective, and they have control over it completely now because of the fact they were able to get so many kills on the way in.
Did Story's headset die? I swear to God, he was like running in a circle next to where a fight had just happened and then just jumped in and gave his life away to Delena. And part of that is why things are continuing to go the way that they are. 111 points, 112 and counting. Cormorant, literally, I don't think they can make a mistake from this point on if they want to deny Cute Hamsters from running away with this game, because they are so close. 45 seconds left. Story does get 2. That will make things a little bit easier. Hylight's in a fantastic position, and I don't think they know. They popped the Rage, but they're not looking. But they turn around in time. Canny's ready for it. It's a 1-for-1 for Gotti, but he's still contesting. Finally, Cormorant get the flip, and they have to hold on. This entire time, I think if there's even a chance for them to get it, they can't lose a single fight from this point forward.
They can't, but you mentioned that, and they already managed to down 1. They push around and get another one. They down 2 people, and it's still looking rough for them. Joker gets killed as well, and you have 132 points. Kresnik, I think this might just be, for the most part, curtains. I don't think that Hefty Cormorant can make it onto the objective to even try and fight. I just don't think it's possible for it.
Fun. I'm starting to think no matter the game mode, no matter the map, no matter who their opponents might be, it looks like Cute Hamsters are going to be an unstoppable force, and there is no immovable object for them. Qualifier number 2 will go down for them, I think, to the surprise of probably not very many people in the chat, but I do still love watching some good Roco company get played. I mean, what a performance by them. We didn't get to watch them too far up the bracket, but we saw Cormorant take them to the edge on Favelas and put up a good fight on Breach Koth, but it literally, they figured him out, and I think they got in their heads near the end.
Yeah, and I think that they were able to not only turn that around in terms of advantage, but also make sure that they were able to keep control over the objective on not over the fights when they were actually having them on the point, but more so just having the fights work for them before the point even spawned, because we saw how that went towards the tail end of that. They won the trades and won the fights before the objective even popped up. And that was part of the reason as to why they were able to keep snowballing their lead and why it was so hard for them was simply because of that.
Yeah, I think you are not wrong about that. But starting from map one, if you look at it, the way that they were taking those fights early wasn't helping them really. I think when they, on the defense, it was good. You can see that round there that really went in their favor. This was, I think, that round that Story somehow pulled out of the jaws of defeat. But looking at how they played it, they did not really take a ton of initiative when they were on attack. And it literally took them to round 15. That's not a common thing from teams that aren't right turtle for against them. They never really go to the brink. Cormorant showed up in spades, I would say, today. Just once they realized we need to take these fights ahead of time, we need to be pre-planning. We have played long enough together that we can get away with that while not really dealing with our gunny at all. We're still going to be hitting shots even if we are doing that sort of thing. Once they really got that in their heads, I think that's when they started to run away with it on the King of the Hill.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I definitely think that this is something that Cute Hamster has been able to do so well, more than a lot of the other teams, is just be able to adapt to situations that are more so unfavorable. That's why they're at the top. There's a lot of times where it sort of spirals out of control. There are a lot of times where things become a lot more difficult for Cute Hamster, especially during those demo maps. But when you have a situation like this where they're fighting consistently, you see they're in their element. You see that they're leading by force. You see that they're able to win a lot of these trades, a lot of these fights. And at the end of the day, that is what matters. That is what really comes out on top. And you even see Hylight just popping off, man. I mean, downing people, killing them, and still maintaining control over that high ground.
I didn't know he got a third pick after that. To be fair, he did have a teammate. He had a crossfire on that second kill when he popped the rage behind the cover. But that was still impressive. I mean, he still held that basically single-handedly. Chalk, such a monstrous road. Kind of surprised to see them go for the vibe ban instead. I get it for some of those points, but I don't know if I would have loved the vibe pickup outside of maybe one or two of those strong positions, like where they were holding on this site in particular on D. I think maybe vibe makes sense there, but a lot of them are open enough where I think wanting to get rid of that Chalk, unless you want it yourself, could have helped them. But I don't think much would have helped them in the end with how Cute Hamsters really got the ball rolling on the final round of that final map, King of the Hill Breach. Happy to see it. Happy to see King of the Hill here. And I think they've adapted to it already. I think I can say that with pretty much confidence. They have already adapted to it. And you can tell that with that 2-0 there in the middle, even with a rough first map. Take them somewhere new, take them to a new game mode, and they will still be the Cute Hamsters that you know, and I would say love, but some of the chat doesn't seem to agree with that sometimes. So the same Cute Hamsters that you know and have been consistently dominant here from week to week.
Yeah, and I mean, that is the #1 seed right there, man. I mean, like that is how they win the games. That is how they maintain control. And we saw them completely go from something that was tied overall to something that was swept under the rug completely by them to make it a 2-0. They are amazing at playing. They are great at playing, and that's exactly why they are the #1 seed. I absolutely love the fact that we get to see them more and more as the weeks go on. And yeah, I'm just happy. I was just so happy to be here today to be able to cast this and be able to drop some analytics for it wherever I could.
For sure, yeah. I mean, definitely happy to cast it with you. Of course, plenty of great games today, and there'll be great games next week too. You should go and sign up, because it's an open bracket. It's free signups. Get up there. You should be there, and you should compete. It's not just for points. It's not just for pride. It's for money, too. But go check out checkmategaming.com if you want to sign up and prove yourself. I mean, some people in chat didn't make it all the way today. I see them talking about it. Sign up again. Do it again. See if you get a better bracket, if you can make people in chat stop saying stuff to you about how that one went. But obviously that opportunities are there. There will be money for that. Of course, I'm sure all the teams that signed up today will be back if they really want to make it to that fourth week. Of course, $400 for first, $200 for second. There is money to be spread from first to eighth there in that prize pool for the qualifiers. So make it far. You know it's fun. You might be walking away with a pretty penny.
Yeah, and definitely make sure that once again, that one of the biggest things it is you have to keep in mind when you're playing into this competitive environment is making sure that not only do you have that stamina, but you have that gameplay as well. Make sure that you have a strategy, understand what the drafts are, understand how you're going to be able to utilize those for your team, and that's just how you have to play. Stamina is always extremely important because Cute Hamster has been playing for a while today, match after match after match, and still coming through with this very consistent level of play. It's something it is that most people at high level, I would say, don't really talk about. I don't think we really hear a lot about how stamina is as important. There's a few mentions here and there, but stamina is obviously something it is that you're going to need. And Cute Hamster proved that, and they proved that they were ready to bring their A game. So I'm glad to see them win.
Definitely have stamina if you make it to the end all the time. And fun, we've made it to the end here of our broadcast today. Thank you so much for showing up with me. I mean, we have literally casted together. I can't even comprehend how long we've been casting. So happy to bring another game there. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Anyone who showed up today in chat, anyone who played, all of our production team behind the scenes, everyone I think put on a fantastic show, whether you were just playing, whether you were watching, or whether you were helping us out with that. But again, thank you all so much for tuning in for some great Rogue Company action. It will be back next week on Saturday. Make sure you tune in for that, June 19th. It will be an absolute barn burner, and maybe Cormorant can finally find their way to take down Cute Hamster. You're going to have to tune in and find out. We will see you then. Thank you so much. See you next week.